Oh yes! I've always wanted one of these. And that certain something is you. The people. You mean so much to me. All 9 of you. And all 2 of you watching. Well, what can I say? I haven't seen you guys in probably about 2 days. So we're out here again. I've just been moving, helping to move house. Helping. And I left this project half done. So I'm just finishing it off. This will be my heater mount, and it will also be my fuse box mount, so 2-in-1 mount. I'll show you where it goes. Come with me. So that will slot in this kind of hole here. I don't know how dark it is on camera, but we'll slot there. Heater will be underneath. Fuse box on top. Works box covering that. So that's pretty sweet. Oh boy. What else? This is a gusset tool I bought a while ago. Now a gusset is basically a chamfered hole. And these 2 are dies, and they slot together. If you can see, I don't know how well you can see it, but there's like a little chamfer on there, and it just presses holes. Now, if you have a flat bit of sheet metal, it's quite flimsy, like you can bend it, but you put a hole in there, like you chamfer a hole, and have a bit of metal going in, you've effectively just got like 2 or 3 mil. The strength of a 2 or 3 mil bar. It won't bend because you can't really bend angle iron. That's technically what you're doing, is you're angling the metal. So they're meant to make it stronger. Now you'll commonly see a lot of them on things like roll cages. I've gone down the side of mine. I should have probably done this bar to the body, but I didn't get around to it. But that's okay. It's no big deal. What I'll probably end up doing is just using like a clamp type of bolt, like a clamp type of bracket on it. Maybe, probably not. So I'm just going to press these, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. So I'll walk through one. So my plate sits like this. I'm not sure if I want the holes going in or out. Now if they're going out, like the hole like pushes that way, the problem is if you reach up under, you're going to get like, it's not going to be sharp because I've sanded all of these flat, but you'll have sharp holes. Or if I go the other way, they'll be facing up. The only problem with facing up is I can't really lay anything on top, and I want to lay the fuse box there. So I'm going to, you know what, I've just made my mind up. I'm going to chamfer them down. Now I probably need to re-drill some of these. Where the drill's gone through and caught and dragged the drill down, it hasn't really made a good circle. But here's one on the end. So we just slot that in there the way we want it to go down, the other die on the other side. Now I find the best way to do this is on a press. I don't have a press here. I'm a bit too cheap for that kind of stuff, but I do want to get one for this more than anything, but also like bending anything really. But a vice is just as good, has the same properties. Just do her up. I don't tend to like crank the living daylights out of it because you get quite a nasty finish. There we go, that's one. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong way. That's one, that's all it does. Kind of bevels it in. And the other side. Yeah. So I'm just going to do it all the way along. I'm doing it more for decoration and actual use, if I'm going to be honest to you. It's a pretty poor excuse, but oh well. So I'm just going to re-drill these because it doesn't really fit any of them. That's my bad, it's poor workmanship, but see you in a minute. Okay, so this is the gussets on this side done, didn't take very long. Now I always crank it down too hard. You can see on this first one, I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but I've done it too hard. I've pressed too hard together, and it's marked the metal around it, and it doesn't look very good. Whereas these in the middle, I only went very gently, and they haven't turned out too bad. I'm not sure how much I like it. I was expecting it to be more. I would have gone bigger ones, bigger and less. But the problem with bigger and less is on the bit I'm mounting it to, these sit inside the holes where this sits outside the gap. So it wouldn't sit flush if I did them further and bigger. So, but I think this will do. I just hope the heater box, this doesn't interfere with the heater box. We might have a bit of an issue there. So I'm just gonna do the rest and show you when I get back. Yo, check it. I don't know where you can see it, but it's bowing a little bit. But that is because there's screws on top of the heater box. So I'll space this out with screws. Don't worry, it's not gonna stay like that. That all lines up, which is nice. So I'm gonna take this back off the heater box, put it on the car, and see what it's like. Personally, I'm not a great fan. I don't like it. I think it looks a bit like, it looks a bit too Fisher Price, if you know what I mean. It looks a bit too forced. Really, I should have done it out of wood, but I don't have any wood here, and I don't have any wood blades to be jigsaw, so that's not going to happen. And I'd rather it out of metal anyway, because I'll most likely use this as a ground. I'll probably weld a nut and use it for a ground for something. What I'll probably do is weld a nut here, and then have for ground leads coming off fuse boxes and such, and then an actual ground lead going back off to a bit bigger earth point, so it doesn't like start melting the corners of this. But we will see. So here we are. I drilled the holes in the car before I started recording because it was a bit of a pain in the arse. I was on the phone to insurance at the same time. £97 a month this shed cost me. Bloody hell. Oh. So it's only held in by the hex bolts. Whoa, no focus there. And there's the gussets. Don't look too bad really. I'm not really a big fan of it, but you won't see it, so. Oh, there we go. So that's all drilled out, bolted up. It's all looking good. The heater will sit underneath. Here, let me grab the heater, I'll show you. Heater will sit. I could actually bolt it up. It's a lot of work though. Heater will sit about there. Underneath. It's annoying because I wanted it hidden so you couldn't see it, because these are quite small, you can't hide them, but I'd rather have hot air in the car and a heat you can see than be cold. So there we go. I think I'll conclude that. Really, bye. this is basically the plate. It's warped a little where I was doing the middle bit, but it'll be alright, I'm sure. So basically the other fuse box bit shares the bolt with heater, so that's got its own bracket. I welded this one on so there's no bolts underneath, stopping the heater coming up flush. So I just welded it on. I would take these little bits off, but I'm not sure how much I care. I do care, but it's like, do I risk getting sparks all over the car and make a mess just to take these two little knobs of bits off? I'm sure I should really. Yeah, I think I will. So I just tapped over these washers. Something I like to do around the car. If I know there's going to be wires around, just save me having to drill holes in the car, or like using them sticky cable tie things that eventually fall off. I've just welded these washers on, and then what you do with those is you run the cable. So my fuse box is going to be sat here. I know that my gauge wires will run down the back, so I put that there so I can run the wires down, loop a cable tie, zip her up, leaves it kind of neatly laid out. Same with the front, all the cables up front, if they're going down to the back, will come off, zip tie here, and then go out down. This one's just so wires can go here. Wiper motor wires go behind. I think I might have all the engine bay wiring coming out of this side. So have all my engine wiring. I might even have it coming through that vent to have my cold air intake also be my wiring through. So not two birds in one stone having a hole for that. So there we go. I think I'll conclude for that bracket. I think I'm just going to spray it black and hope there's nothing else to do on it really. I would leave it now just in case I need to weld anything too. If I do leave it black, it means good cat. So I think I'll leave it like that now and paint it black. I'm probably going to put the Sparco seat in tonight because my friend Will has sent me some UJs for my shifter, so I kind of want to get this shifter done so I can get it in neutral, and as soon as it's in neutral I can start taking the wiring seriously so I can crank her over. At the moment I don't really want to start like messing about with starter motor wiring, hooking up to the car. I need to get the drive shafts in, fine neutral, and then she's ready to crank the engine over, get some more pressure going. So I'll start on the ignition. I'll start the ignition wiring first. Getting the starter motor working, and then I'll probably move on to the plug wiring, so distributor, coil. Run the wires for that, and then really that's all I care about at the moment. Getting it running. I'm going to order a tank this month. I'll probably I'll order the tank this month. I'll put a photo in of the tank I'm getting. It's a concept racing one that sits in the spare wheel well. I can feel myself just mumbling on now, so I'm probably going to end the video here. Thanks for watching, Max. Thanks for watching, Michael. Thanks for watching, Mum, Dave, Teddo. Bye.
Being promoted for the job he did on the streets of the H2O, where the pushers sell the drugs that the government allows in the country, and then they do time.
So we're just chilling, you know how it is. I'm not sure if I'm going to merge this video. I don't know why I put so much thought into it, not very good, but... So, bit ashamed of myself really with the amount of progress that I've done. It's barely anything. I I've been panicking about bucket seats and internal linkages, and in the end I've just bought a CAD internal linkage bracket, which isn't really what I wanted to do. But to get the... I don't know why I have to explain myself, if I do. To get the material, it was like 30 quid, and it would have taken me a couple of hours. I don't have a TIG welder, so by the end I probably would have spent near 100 quid, so I'll just fucking just buy it, why not? And it's on show all the time, so you know. So I'm gonna wait for that to come through. I've got some bucket seats I'm looking at buying second hand. Cobra Revolutions. I talked to Turbo Nick actually about that, if a wraparound ones fit, and he said they do. He said he's got Cobra Revolutions. So old copycat Tom strikes again. Poor Turbo Nick. So I'm putting the pads in for real now, because I left the drive shafts in loose just in case I need the Yankee engine again, but after putting them engine mount bolts in, I've kind of just committed. So I undid the top bolt, swung hub forward, put the inner pot in, banged it all up. I've put proper brake grease down the side that will sit against the caliper, and put copper grease in the back. Now what I do is I smear copper grease on the back, and when I get around to actually getting on the road, what I'll do is I'll take the wheels back off, power wash like indirectly, so I don't wash the grease off the top, but that will get rid of the majority of the copper grease. I don't want to get rid of all of it, but where obviously the two cylinders sit, I want there to be copper grease on that, but I don't want to like paste me brushing the caliper, so I'm just gonna slot her in. No. Oh, fuck's sake. This ain't gonna fit, is it? I'm gonna have to wipe all this fucking grease off and file it, I think. Oh, bloody hell. Okay, so you'll join us at the bench in a minute. So welcome again. Hi. You join me at a particularly messy bench. I'm just going to wash all this grease off with some brake cleaner. And while we got loads of brake cleaner on the rag. Well, okay, that's clean. So what I'm going to do now is take a file to the edge of these. Still a bit smeary, but I'm going to clamp it in a vise. So I've just filed that off. Oh yeah, file teeth only go one way, so don't like always push, never drag a file, or you'll end up ruining it. Oh, son of a bitch! So I've just taken this arm off. The best way I found. Actually, if I found, I've been passed down the knowledge, is if this is on the taper, the best thing to do is hit, I'll show you, hit the kind of the outer ring around it, and then that'll crack your seal, and then you can pull that down. If I show you what's going on, see that UJ's out. I'm going to put it in basically. So, can I get the camera in there, do you think? Maybe? Can I do that? Oh sick. I'm such a bloody cameraman, So all I'm going to do is pull down and out on this hub. So now I've got a greasy hand. Before I start touching everything, I'm going to go wash my hands and then find some split pins to put through these brakes. Catch you then.